Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be a great matchup between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. With that, let's get up to Atlanta. We're standing by at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, the weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather, and we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they enter play. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Patriots, they've got all W's on the ledger so far, a perfect 6-0.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but they're showing everyone early on that they intend to be there in the end.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 6. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by a man drafted in the 3rd round in 2019 from West Virginia. It's Will Grier.
Set up, 60 yards.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Now a first down throw, Grier. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, here's Grier again. And finding the tight end, Hooper. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Defensively, here are the starters for New England. They really played well in that win last week against Miami.
The best defenses I know, they draw lines in the sand and say you're not going to cross that. For most of them, it's 100 yards of total offense. They didn't quite accomplish that, but still a pretty darn good game last week. Just over 100 yards of total offense given up.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing on 3rd down, Grier. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Clayton. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to make it 4th down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
It's a 40.
Ready, set.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Get it.
A former star at nearby Georgia, this is Sony Michel. That really sets them back. A loss of 6.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage.
Ready, ready. 15, Lonnie. 15, Lonnie.
Check girls, check girls.
2nd and long. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep lefts. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there for New England. And even 50 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pumps from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down. Now let's give you a look here at the New England offense.
And a big key is going to be how can these wideouts create separation from the defensive backs? Because we've seen some early success in the passing game in this one, and that's going to need to continue.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, eluding the pressure right. Catch is made by Harry. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. N'Keal Harry with touchdown number 12 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And he gets it to make it 7-0 Patriots. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's finished off by a Pats touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out there, a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive.
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. They'll have 2. Remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Let's go now.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Here I come again. Here I come again.
Shoot.
On 2nd down, here's Greer. And he will find his man on the outside. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
I know you
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He went backwards 5 yards there on third down to bring up fourth.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 14 yards is the pickup there and a New England first down. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game. Keeping
it on the ground on first, Michelle. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Here we go. 10-2 stop.
Off the draw, here's Michelle. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
Didn't take any great analysis on my part. It's been pretty obvious. Last couple plays, these guys been going in the wrong direction.
Offensive line overwhelmed on those plays. Now, I think it's safe to say going nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
80 weapon.
Kill. Hey, turn it up.
Get it.
They're going to try and throw. And this is caught inside the 5. And he's going to get into the end zone. So the fake spike works, and they score. N'Keal Harry with his 13th touchdown of the year and second of the game. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went for it on their own side of the 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the cap to them.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a New England touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good.